Finally, free from video games! Now back to the eternal hell that is anime, and holy fucking hell, 15 of the bloody things. As much as I know you like to torture me, I'm very adjusted to that, so the only one who'll suffer will be you, and whatever gormless bastard watches this dreck. To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts is the recent installment in the ever-living genre of pseudo-historical action animes that I feel recently has gotten much more attention, possibly due to Saga of Tanya the Evil or Princess Principal. And its contribution to the formula and the subgenre is roughly the same as our current president's contribution to international stability. On the surface, the plot and the formula hasn't changed much. A girly girl protagonist and a burly boy protagonist bumble fucking around the place in search of quests while something vaguely historical and or political is happening in the background. So why did this anime felt like a sloppy rushed blowjob? Maybe it's just me who's wrong about it. Maybe Dororo set my expectations too high, so whatever anime was first on my hit list would inevitably feel inadequate. But anyway, our story starts in the continent of Patria, where the industrial north and the proud southern miners are locked in a devastating civil war in which the north loses quite horribly until they invent these sacred beasts, which are basically different versions of werewolf, snake, dragon, etc. And with their help they are slowly winning the war, but everyone in the army treats them like shit because, well, as we all know, treating the only reason why you are winning this damned war in the first place like shit is the best way to ensure obedience from them. But before the last battle, a betrayal occurs. Not gonna spoil it, but please take a wild guess who betrays them, and our main hero awakens after a 2-month coma to realize that the North won the war and everyone in his squad have gone mad and are wreaking havoc on the local populace, and so he decides to murder all of them before they can do something totally stupid. Again, maybe Fairy Gone, Violet Evergarden and all the rest have ruined this genre for me, cause I swear the last time I was quite disoffended by the plot's execution was when I was watching Gungrave. You wanna know the precise moment this anime lost me? It was first minute in, when the show had started showing a now typical war is hell scene, more reminiscent of the First World War than the American Civil War it's based on, and just when the dude we were observing was getting all the typical shell shock, we see these bastards dressed in all white as if they all came from some Kingdom Hearts fanfiction with swords, lances and shit, and start murdering everyone as if we were watching some early JoJo. Instantly all possible care I had for the world and characters fizzled away because the anime had blown its load in the first episode and I knew the plot armor would keep everyone else alive until needed. And the cherry on top of this smelly cake was the hamstringed romance, when a female character is so visually similar to our protagonist's quote-unquote dead girlfriend that even the main villain got angry about it, which was about as cliched as you can get with this sort of plot. The graphics are generic. While they're not the worst I've seen, they're also far from the best, being your standard lower tier animation and design, just serviceable enough to get a pass but not nearly good enough to be even worth a notice, and the music is bland and forgettable as you would expect, but I still can't get over the plot of this anime. You know what's the most disrespectful about it all? The way they've portrayed the North, aka the side you're supposed to be, if not rooting for, then at least give a shit. And I'm sorry, what's there to love about them? The best military strategy their commanders have shown so far was a full-scale frontal assault on the opponent, hoping to gods enough men would survive to overcome the enemy's defenses. No wonder they were losing miserably to the south, and then when they've created the perfect soldiers for said assault that could reasonably defeat their enemy, what do? They treat them like shit and start killing the second they go out of control. And to top it all off, they're not afraid to do whatever it takes to achieve victory and write it off as necessary casualties while their taxpayers die. So please tell me, why should I root for them and their quest to kill all sacred beasts and not root for the free nation of Patria, who for all their wrongdoings weren't shown in such a bad light? And speaking of a bad light, our girl character, the strong and independent but meek and feeble girl protagonist, slowly falling in love in our burly werewolf for reasons I still can't understand unless his manly chest releases pheromones that affect all purple-haired girls in the vicinity. Before this, no character could topple Chise in the spot for the most useless female protagonist I've covered in this show, but I swear to God, Shao came dangerously close to that, with her being essentially just a crux for Hank to keep his humanity. I'm even tempted to read the manga for this, just to see if she is useless in the source as she is in the anime, so I guess I owe some congratulations to the anime. It made me want to check the source so I can slap it even harder. Guess you win this round. To the abandoned sacred beasts, more like to the abandoned sense of self-worth.